All right, it's seed starting time. So it is 10 degrees in Illinois, zone 6B. And today we are going to be planting some of the best, and that'll be lettuce. And then I'm also throwing one in there that's not really a lettuce, but I planted around the same time. So we're just throwing both in there because they're leafy greens. All right, so we're going to be planting these at 1/8 of an inch. So we're actually really not going to be needing too much of this. I might just do a little bit just to shake the top up. But in all honesty, what you can do is grab your handy dandy, let's start with black Simpson. Grab your handy dandy black seeded Simpson. Once I find my needle dippler, that's what I'm going to use. These guys aren't super tiny, but they're tiny enough. We're just going to get a hold of a couple of them. And there's 3. We're just going to sew them on top. Now, when it warms up a little bit, we're actually going to direct sew a bunch of these just because we can. And the reason we picked black Simpson is it's a really early producer. So as soon as the dirt's workable, you can go ahead and direct sew it out in the garden, or you can do quick sells like these and then just do plugs. So that way you can do the cut and come again. I'm doing the plugs just so that way we have a little bit more of a jump on the season, because right now the soil is not workable. Like I said, 10 degrees. She's froze solid. But when it gets a little bit to where I start working beds, if I have some extra space, I will be throwing this in here. It's not a head lettuce, it's just a cut and come again. So it's really nice because, you know, every 2 weeks or so you get a continuous harvest out of them. And then the best thing to do with it, if you're wanting to continue your harvest all the way up until about 60, 70, 80 degrees is about where it bolted last year for us, you can actually just keep resowing these every 2 weeks. So it's a pretty good powerhouse. Then, after we get its handy dandy tag made, we're going to do like I've been doing, and we're just going to take a little bit of vermiculite, because this morning, after 3 days, I do believe it's been, the onions have already came up. So I'm pretty ecstatic about that, especially since last year we had some pretty limited growth to the onions. And I didn't grab any water to water these. And then we're just going to water them in. Make a mess on the table because I can't seem to not do that. There you go. Your black Simpson's ready to go. They're pretty easy to transplant, but we'll do a video on that later on. So for the seed starting on these, it's pretty much the same that I use for everything else. We just take our cells, we clean them, we wash them, we sanitize them, and then these are just the cheapos, $5 ones from Walmart. So I mean, if you're looking for a seed starter and you're just getting started in seed starting, I think they're a really good option. Don't use the pre-filled mix because most people overwater them, because the coconut coir is a lot more absorbent, so you don't realize that you're actually overwatering the entire time. So just a fair warning, this is the 36 cell and it is a pre-filled system, but I don't use that system without adding more to it at least. So, and then when it comes to our soil, we actually have a lovely container of Fox Farm Happy Frogs here that I ran through my 1/4-inch mesh sift, and this is the only seed starter I really use. Like when I get these pre-filleds, I add that coconut coir to it, just because, I mean, it's there, and it works really well. Last year I did Fairy Morse versus Fox Farm Happy Frogs, and honestly, if you check out the results on that video, it's impressive. And I'll put a link to it in the description below. And then as we're filling these, we just barely push them in. Don't get real crazy with it, because if you over compact them, the seeds will struggle. But if you don't kind of compact them, then you end up with a half-filled cell whenever you go to water, and that really sucks. That's better. All right, next up on our list will, of course, be the lettuce Burpee Bibb. So these ones are actually a head lettuce that take about 75 days to get to maturity, and you're going to want to keep them about 8 to 12 inches apart to grow the heads, you can do these as cut and come again, just cut them as they go. But the heads have a lot better crunch. And if you're wanting to keep an extended harvest on these, go ahead and plant them every 2 weeks, and they will continue to go. You want to do one planting in spring, and then when you see depending on the zone you're in, when you start seeing 70 to 80 degrees, go ahead and shut that down. And then whenever it gets towards the fall, late summer, when you see getting below 70, 80 degrees, then you can plant them again. And they'll grow all the way up into winter until, frost. Well, I don't even think frost really affected these last year, but until it gets so cold that they just freeze and die. So we're going to essentially do the same thing with these that we did in the last ones. We're going to do 6 in this cell, and then we're going to go ahead whenever it warms up to where the soil is workable. We're going to plant these direct sow. With the heads, I kind of like doing this style because you don't have to go through and thin out a bunch of plants later. And if you do plant these too thick, they won't grow as nice of a head. They'll still produce, but not as good. So then, when we did it that way last year, we ended up thinning out the smaller heads and leaving some of the bigger ones to grow, or vice versa, just depending on the situation. So when we're sowing these, we only want them about a 1/4 inch deep, just like the Black Simpson. And we're just going to cover with vermiculite. I do enjoy how all the seeds are like the same size. Yeah, I actually only dropped one that time. Thin layer of vermiculite. Water them in. Hopefully this time we can do it without making a mess. I got to get my sprayer going. There we go. All right, so this one you've probably seen in the grocery store if you've never grown any lettuces before, and that is the Iceberg lettuce. So we actually planted these a little early last year because of Iceberg, and it just seemed right to plant them a little bit early like I would spinach or whatever, and they took forever to germinate in direct sowing in super cold weather. So there's a fair warning for you. Secondly, same thing though, it's a head lettuce. The outer layers are fringed. And yeah, I mean, it's the one you see the most in the grocery store, the head of lettuce. That's typically what you're getting. Now, like the Burpee Bibb, it's a small, compact up one, whereas in the Iceberg is, of course, a circle. So, but it's going to be the same essential procedure for each one of these. Oh, these seeds are not completely. They're really different than the other ones. That's kind of cool. I don't think these are the same ones I had before. We're just going to sprinkle a couple on top. We might have to thin them later, but I mean, it's really hard to get these little bitty seeds to just one seed per cell. Trying to conserve space, but it is what it is. Then we're just going to kind of lightly press on them to get them good soil contact. We're going to come in with our vermiculite. And don't worry about the contact with the seeds for the vermiculite. You can even actually grow seeds in the vermiculite directly if you so wish, but I'm not going to be doing that. I haven't actually tried it yet, but that's what they say. So it's not quite what I want to do yet. Iceberg A. That might have been the difference there. That's Iceberg A, and I think we had B or something weird last year. I'll water it in. Ta-da! And of course, last but not least, which is not technically a lettuce, but I mean, it might as well be, and that is green curled endive. And so what's great about endive is it's actually considered a superfood because it has a whole bunch of different nutrients and vitamins and so on and so forth in it. And then this curly leaf style here, the way it's all fringed and stuff, it's actually more cold tolerant than other varieties. So we can actually start it super early in the spring. And you're going to want to start it as soon as the soil is workable if you're direct sowing. And you want to keep it about a foot apart. But what's really great about it is the fact that it's the same thing as lettuce. You can do it every 2 weeks and then just add it into your spring mix. And then when it gets 70, 80 degrees, you stop re-sowing it, succession sowing it, and you sow it again when it gets back down in 70, 80s. And this stuff will live, I mean, almost up to like 20 degrees, 10 degrees. So for me, that was in December, and that's what wiped a lot of it. So, you know, they're pretty kosher, and they actually taste really good. And you can even do them as a microgreen, but you can blanch these down into a cooking, or, you know, cooking them down, and that's really great as well. But it's another one. It just likes to be about a 1/4 inch deep, and I'm actually going to probably do a deep dive into the health benefits of Endive eventually. I know I was asked about it last year and never really got to messing with it. So hopefully this year it produces really well and we can get that going. And these tiny seeds suck to get back in the package. And I'm probably going to try to direct sow these two just to see, you know, if they produce quicker or better, you know, just anything off of dates versus now. I should be writing all the dates on these, honestly. But I don't know what today is. Same thing, just give them a light press, get too carried away with it, just enough to make good soil contact. Throw your tag in there. I didn't write 219 on it, which is silly. And we're going to take our vermiculite, put a thin layer down on top. And then what's super great about lettuce is it's one that needs a whole lot of nitrogen. Essentially assume all leafy greens like nitrogen, because that's the food source. Well, I mean, technically the sun's the food source, but it uses the nutrients of nitrogen to make the plant. But that's a whole deep dive we're not doing today. And if you need a video that's going to help you make a nitrogen at home that's really good for lettuce specifically, go ahead and check out this video over here. And if you want to see how everything goes for the 2025 season, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on Wednesday.